Hello, my name is David Alderson, an MBA student from Cape Breton University. This presentation is a UCG Power Generation Strategic Opportunity Analysis for Emera Nova Scotia Power Inc. Emera is a publicly traded, Halifax-based diversified energy and services company. Its business is electricity generation, transmission, and distribution through its two wholly owned subsidiaries, NSPI and Bangor Hydro. Emera faces many challenges from electricity affordability and demand to growing the company while it exists largely in a mature market. To address these challenges, Emera's strategy is to enter new markets, pursue acquisitions and greenfield development opportunities, invest in transmission infrastructure and renewable generation, and reduce coal-fired emissions. Emera's leadership team has a broad and detailed understanding of the industry and their subsidiary companies, which has proven to be effective. Emera has consistently ranked high on the Globe and Mail's corporate governance surveys, placing 13th out of 180 companies in 2008. The environmentally conscious public increasingly expects energy providers to mitigate and control pollution and greenhouse gas emissions, operate in an energy-efficient manner, and conserve energy resources and the environment. As energy security is a paramount concern, cheap and abundant energy is in demand for economic and social development. Rapid changes in political policy and regulations produce a challenging environment for utilities to navigate. Technology must be the bridge to ensure sustainable energy development and reduce negative environmental impacts. The recent financial turmoil and economic recession may affect Emera in several ways, from declines in consumer demand to restricting access and cost of capital. Historically, electricity markets have been geographically segmented at the provincial and state level, but the market is evolving, opening and integrating into one North American market. Competition in the utilities industry is increasingly intense. Fortis Inc., Canada's largest investor-owned distribution utility, is a particularly close competitor with strategic market footholds in PEI, Newfoundland and Labrador, and Upper New York State. The sale of electricity is largely determined by price, which necessitates a cost-leader differentiation strategy for a provider to be competitive. The threat of new entrants is considered moderate. However, trends increasing ease of market entry include market liberalization, the lack of switching costs for end users, the increasing popularity of energy provider switching, and the lack of product differentiation. The bargaining power for buyers and suppliers is moderate. As NSPI is a monopoly utility in the Nova Scotia electricity market, they hold significant bargaining power with both buyers and suppliers. Substitutes include industrial customers opting to install their own power plants, and residential customers switching to gas or solar power in the future. Rivalry intensity is modest, mostly among a relatively small number of large-scale companies. Market liberalization and integration is enhancing rivalry. The North American electricity market was valued at approximately $400 billion in 2007 and is forecasted to reach $650 billion by 2012. On a volume basis, Emera's 14.4 terawatt-hours of electricity generation in 2007 accounted for 0.3% of this market, while competitors TransAlta, TransCanada Corporation, and Fortis held 1%, 0.9%, and 0.55% respectively. Emera's revenue, earnings, and net profit margin are stable, even though the cost of operations have increased over time. However, business growth was slow from 2004 to 2008. Threats to Emera's ability to generate cash include fallout of the weakening economy, resulting in loss of large customers, and regulatory decisions affecting regulated rate of return. Electricity prices are high in Nova Scotia, which reflects the higher cost of electricity for NSPI. Lower prices are primarily influenced by source of electricity, as provinces with the lowest prices have greater access to large amounts of hydroelectric, nuclear, and mine-mouth coal-fired power. Nova Scotia's electric generating system, primarily based on coal for its relatively low cost, was built around the availability of coal resources and production within the province. With the passage of time, the Nova Scotian coal mining industry has been all but eliminated, forcing NSPI to import coal from the United States and Colombia. Coal remains the only fuel source abundant and cheap enough to supply baseload electricity generation reliably over the long term. Emera's financial objective is to deliver annual consolidated earnings growth of 4 to 6% and to build and diversify its earnings base. Over the past 5 years, Emera has struggled to meet its earnings growth goal and will require better performance to achieve its target. Nova Scotia, Emera's primary market, is a relatively small and mature electricity market with 1% annual energy consumption growth. To supplement organic growth, Emera must enter larger, more lucrative markets in order to generate shareholder value and cash flow required for electric infrastructure investment in both Nova Scotia and the Atlantic Energy Corridor. Emera has been active in implementing its strategy with renewable generation capacity growth and acquisitions in the United States and the Caribbean. However, Emera's strategic focus on reducing coal-fired emissions has few action items in the public domain. NSPI has become a partner in the $5 million Carbon Storage Research Consortium with Dalhousie University and the Nova Scotia Department of Energy. An opportunity exists for clean coal power generation development using underground coal gasification in Sydney coalfield. UCG is an in-situ coal-to-gas conversion and extraction process applied to conventionally unminable coal seams. The technology has significant potential to increase recoverable coal reserves, as it is capable of economically producing synthetic gas from coal seams at depths between 300 and 1500 meters. The in-situ gasification reactions are indistinguishable from those in a surface gasifier. The one-step conversion and extraction process is equivalent to conventional mining and surface gasification, without the disadvantage of coal handling, underground working, or the need for an expensive surface reactor. The product gas is composed of hydrogen, methane, carbon dioxide, and carbon monoxide. UCG has produced commercial quantities of gas for electricity generation, fuel production, and petrochemical processing and production. The adoption of UCG technology for power generation increases energy security and economic and environmental competitiveness. Published cost estimates, engineering analyses, and commercial pilots suggest UCG can produce synthetic gas for 1/2 to 1/4 of the cost compared to surface gasifiers. Emera's cost of electricity is increasing. Coal remains the cheapest fuel for electricity generation at $31 per megawatt hour. UCG integrated gasification combined cycle can produce electricity at $19 per megawatt hour, giving the technology a serious competitive advantage as a cost leader. UCG can be integrated with carbon capture and storage for $24 per megawatt hour, a cost significantly below Emera's current average cost of electricity from coal-fired generation without CCS. Coal-fired, tidal, and hydroelectric power generation are cash cows for NSPI, with dominant market share but little opportunity for business growth. Natural gas has become particularly interesting as low prices enable its use for baseload generation. Marine turbine and UCG CCS technologies are question marks, yet to be installed or demonstrated in the province. Both show promise for business growth and could hold considerable market share in the future. Although Emera's strategy is appropriate in addressing many of the challenges the company faces, it falls short in addressing increasing cost pressures. It is recommended Emera implement a cost leadership strategy through their NSPI subsidiary. This recommended strategy focuses on increasing margins and competitive advantage while easing price pressure for consumers. UCG CCS may hold significant potential for NSPI to build and diversify its earnings base at a considerably lower cost of electricity, freeing up earnings potential in the mature market of Nova Scotia. Ergo XG and Loris Energy have communicated interest in the Sydney coalfield for a UCG power generation project. It is recommended that NSPI evaluate UCG technology, its deployment potential, and its business case for power generation. This evaluation will help NSPI gain a clear understanding of the business potential associated with their involvement in a UCG power generation project, and determine what role the company would be prepared to play, if any. In addition to Emera's currently implemented strategy, it is recommended that NSPI conduct a full evaluation of UCG technology and deployment potential. This strategic agenda item should be coupled with the CCS research efforts at the Carbon Storage Research Consortium, with priority given to investigation of UCG CCS potential in the Sydney Basin. An evaluation schedule is shown here. Decisions to continue with the evaluation should be made prior to each successive step. This concludes the presentation. Thank you very much for your time.